And Mr. McIntyre, what was the resolution that the two of you reached?
That I could take a class of therapy.
Okay. And was she going to go forward with the case or dismiss the case, or do you know?
Hopefully dismiss it.
Okay. So if you, the person that is the witness, I don't think there is a witness from Ms. Wyatt. Okay. Is there any type of protective order, anything that prevents you from contacting Mrs. Wyatt?
None that I'm aware of. I don't really know her.
Okay. Okay, so you don't really know her.
No, no.
Okay. All right. So what I will have you do is put your telephone number in the chat feature, that we have your telephone number. You can just put it into the magistrate court B. Give us your telephone number. If she appears again, then we, okay, she did say that, so never mind. The clerk's office was able to verify that she did indicate that she wanted to dismiss before she got disconnected. So I'm fine with that. The clerk was able to verify that. So you're free to go, Mr. McIntyre. I will put in the dismissal that you agree to seek therapy, and in exchange for your agreement and commitment to go to therapy, that she will dismiss the matter.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're excused. Have a good rest of the day.
All right, you too.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do at this point is we need to have a brief recess. I need to review some of the charges and some of the cases. So we're going to go into a brief recess. Stay by your computers. I don't know how long it's going to take. It might take me 5 minutes. It might take me 10. It might take 15. But since I don't know how quickly I can get through all the information, stay by your computers, and I will I will come back on as soon as possible to try to resolve at least one or two of the cases as quickly as possible. So just, you can go off camera, but you need to stay where you can hear me, because it might be 5 minutes.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay. So Ms. Hanks, your witnesses, do you have any witnesses other than yourself that are going to be present?
Yes, I have my son that's here as well.
How old is your son?
He's 18.
Okay. So let me ask this, are there, the apartment numbers in your apartment community, do you know if they have some, like, let's say, would they have a 2,000, 3,000? Do they start at, like, so your building, for instance, would it start, let's say, I'm not going to say your building number, but let's say your building was 4,000. Would the building 4,000 have 4,000 as the first apartment in that building, or what numbers they start on and what number do they end on?
So like my building is 5,400. So it's 5,400, 5,401, 5,402, 5,405.
How many buildings do they have in a complex?
It's a bunch of them. I think it go up to either like 8,000 or 9,000.
Okay. So what do they start at? Do you know what the first building starts, what number it starts off at?
I don't know exactly which one it started, because I know the address to the office is 1900, and I know it's like in the start. So I don't know if they start at 100 or if they start at 1,000.
So let me ask this: if there's a building 5,400, is there a building 5,500 too?
Yes, like I'm 5,400 is 55, 56, 57. Like they go up like that.
Okay, so in your building, there's actually someone that would have 5400 as their address.
Yes, that's the first one. And then it's 5,401 across from them, 5,402. I think this building go up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it may end up like 5410, because I think it's 10 in this building.
Okay. And do you know how high you said that they go up in your community? I just want to make certain.
I want to say, Tyson, what's like the highest building back there? Is it like 80 something or 9,000? What is it?
Like 9,000.
What's the highest you've seen? I know they go up to like the 9,000s, because I know one of my friends stayed in the 8,400 building.
Okay. So you don't know exactly where they start, but let's say they started at 5,400. It would be 5,400, and it would start with 5400, and then go from 5400 to 5410.
Yes.
And
like
then the 5,500 building would start with 5500, and then go to 5510.
if it's 10 in that bit. It just depends on how many apartments are in those actual buildings. But that's
Okay.
pretty much how they start. Like in these buildings, it's not like 5400 apartment A, B, C. It's 5400, 5401, 5405. Like I'm 5405, my neighbor 5404.
Got you. Okay. So I just wanted to be certain with the address because it was a little bit, I didn't know if there was an actual number. Okay. And how old, you said your son is 18?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I would need him to go into a separate room. Is there a separate room that you have in the house where he's unable to hear what's going on?
Yes, Tyson, going in the living room or my room. Do he need to get on his own phone or something?
You can go get him once it's time for me to hear from him, but I just need him to go by himself where he can't hear you.
Okay.
And let me know once he's gone.
Okay. Close it up. Yeah.
Okay. So you're still under oath. So this is again for a simple assault that you're saying occurred. And are you alleging that you were in fear, or are you alleging that your son was in fear?
I would say both of us because it actually occurred with my son.
Okay. And then the next question is, what exactly did you, I don't want to know what your son told you. I want to know exactly what you saw Mr. Brown do and what exactly you heard him say.
Okay. When it comes to even that, like one thing I want to say, because I don't know if you got
No. Because I want to just, let's start there first. Just whenever, what day, what time was this, and what did you see of him, and what did you hear from him whenever you walk on up to him? I'll get some additional information perhaps later, but I need to hear that first.
Well, when I first walked back there, I never got a call from my son or anything. I was actually had just gotten back from town. I was coming back home from coming from McDonald's grabbing.
Well, no. So I don't even need any of the background. So I just, your first time you see him, what do you see? What do you hear? What is happening?
So the first time that I saw the guy, the man Q, the first time I seen him was back by the garbage cans. I walked back there to see what was going on. Nobody was back there when I got back there. So it was a little boy. It was a young boy and it was an older guy at the garbage cans back there. So I asked the little boy, did he see anybody back there arguing or anything?
Well, I don't want to know what anybody else said. So I just.
But that's what I'm saying. You're asking me what was my first interaction, but that led up to.
What did Mr. Brown say and what did Mr. Brown do? That's the only thing that I'm concerned with right now. So what did you see Mr. Brown do and what did you hear him say whenever you saw him or interacted with him? That's the only thing I'm concerned with right now.
Well, Mr. Brown. I never knew who Mr. Brown was because I don't know this guy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to tell you everything because I don't know.
Well, I don't need you to tell me everything.
But Mr.
Brown, hold on one second. I am very clear about the questions that I ask. I'm asking them for very specific reasons. So I don't need additional answers just because you think that I need to know something. I only need to know the things that I need to know. So what I'm asking is, when was the first time that you saw the person that threatened you? What were they doing and what were they saying that you heard them saying and what did you see them doing? So start with that. So first time you lay eyes on the person that you're seeking the warrant against, what was he saying and what was he doing?
Well, the first time I laid eyes on him, he was walking up from I guess from either where he lived at, because that's the direction that he was coming in from what I understand where he lived. And when he walked up, he was walking up with a beer in his hand and like a cigarette or a blunt in the other hand because it was brown. So I assumed it was a blunt. And I said, "Hey, sir," I said, "Were you the one that was arguing with my son?" And he was like, "What, bitch? What, bitch?" And he like ran past me like to his car and he ended up pulling out a machete. Like he pulled out a knife and I'm like, wait, like, whoa, like, like I didn't come back here for no problems. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And like, so I'm back.
What exactly did you say to him whenever you first approached him? What did you use any language yourself, or did you just ask him what's going on?
No, ma'am. What my exact words to him was, "Hey, sir, are you the one that was arguing with my son?" Because like I said, I don't even know him. My exact words were, "Hey, sir, were you the one that was arguing with my son?" Because I didn't know what was going on.
Was anybody else with you whenever you walked up to him and asked him that question?
I was outside of the car so I drove back there, but I was outside of the car by myself. So nobody was out the car or anything with me. It was just me by myself. Like I said,
Okay, so you walked up to him and you asked him what was going on between him and your son. How far away from his car was he at that time?
So he wasn't at it. I didn't walk up on him. He wasn't at the car when I got back there and nobody was there. So like I said, he must have
So when
came.
you spoke to him and you said what was going on between you and my son. And you said that then he went to his car and retrieved the machete. How far did he walk away to get the machete from where you first encountered him?
So when I first encountered him, I'll say he had to be at least about 10 feet, maybe from his car. I was closer to his car. I say I was at least about 4 feet from his car. So he literally like ran past me to go to the car. So as he ran past me to go run inside of his car, which my car was like kind of on the back of his, like I said, because he walked up on me. Nobody was back there. When I got back there, I didn't see anybody. So he walked past me. And that's when I went like on the side of my car to kind of like make sure I'm out of the way because I didn't know if he was going to swing the knife or whatever.
Okay, so you said what you said, and then he called you out of your name and went to his car and got the machete. Did he say anything else other than what you've already told me to you as this was happening?
No, he didn't say, well, he didn't say anything. He just was like cursing me out. The guy who was at the garbage can was yelling at him like, Q, what you doing? You tripping? Like, what are you doing? Like the man at the garbage can. So it was like the man at the garbage can yelling at him. I'm trying to move behind my car because like I said, I didn't know if he was going to
Okay, so you said nobody was out there originally. So when did someone show up at the garbage can to witness what was going on?
The man and the little boy was at the garbage can when I pulled up, but you told me to start from the interaction with Q and Q.
So you said that he was talking to them. You said whenever you approached them or you talked to him and asked, did you say something to my son or what happened between you and my son? It was just you and him out there and nobody else. Was there somebody else that was out there that would have overheard what you said or saw you talking to him?
Yes, ma'am. That was the older guy and the little boy at the garbage can. The little boy is the one who pointed him out to tell me.
Okay, so again, all I'm wanting to know, I don't want to know what someone else said or what someone else did. I'm just asking who was around. So whenever you asked him what happened between you and my son, or did anything happen between you and my son, there was a little boy and an older gentleman, and they were standing near garbage cans when this was going on?
Yeah, they were standing at the dumpster. My words were, excuse me, sir, were you the one arguing with my son?
Did you say anything else to him before he got the machete?
No, ma'am.
And then the only people outside were the little boy and the older gentleman near the dumpster?
Mm-hmm. When I got back there, it was so quiet. Like,
No. And how far was the dumpster away from his vehicle?
his car is pulled in front of the dumpster.
So it was right next to the dumpster?
Yes, ma'am.
He called you out of your name, and what else did he say as he was walking to his car?
He just yelled, what, B? And ran like to his car to like get the machete. So I'm assuming he was already on one.
Don't tell me what you were assuming, but so he started yelling, what B, and then immediately went to his car and pulled out the machete.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then what did he do once he got the machete?
He like raised it and like he raised it, and that's when the man went yelling at him, and I threw my hands up and I'm like, wait, like I ain't come back here to start no problems. I just came to find out what's going on or whatever.
So you said to him, I didn't come out here to start any problems. I was trying to just see what was going on.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not here to start no problems with you. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with my son, his friend.
You say he raised it in the air. How high, or can you show me with your hands how he raised it up in the air?
He was like, what, bitch? And that's when I threw my hands up, like, wait, like, cause again, that was crazy. I didn't know if he was gonna swing it or not. So I threw my hands up, like, so my hands will like block whatever, like.
What did the older gentleman say to him?
He was like, Q, what you doing? You tripping. He was yelling like, you tripping. Drop that knife. You tripping. Like he just was yelling at him to get him to drop it too.
Was there anybody else outside at this point in time, or was it still just the four of you?
It was me, him, the four. One of my two of my sons were in the car. One of my sons like opened the door to kind of like pull me kind of back. So at that point, one of my sons had gotten out the car as well. So at that point, it was just me, him, the older man, the young boy, and my son side at that point.
Okay. And you say your son did what exactly to you?
My son got out the car to like kind of like pull me back because, like I said, like the man, like we didn't know if he was gonna charge me or what.
Well, you don't need to tell me what you thought or what you were thinking. Just I want to know what happened. So, when did your son got out of the car? Whenever the knife was in the air.
Yeah, my son got out the car once he pulled the knife and drew the knife up. My son.
Did your son say anything, or what did he do what did he do and what did he say whenever he got out of the vehicle?
My son, he was like, "Mom, get back, get in the car, Mom." That's all he was saying to me, like, get in the car, get back, get in the car. He didn't say anything to the man. He only said something to me.
Okay. Is that the son that is testifying tonight, or a different son that told you to get in the car?
No, that was the one who was with me was my 20-year-old son. The one that told me to get back in the car. My 18-year-old son is the one who had the original interaction. Him and his two.
You said you have two sons in the car with you. Was the 18-year-old in the car too, or was it a different son?
No, ma'am. It was my 20 and 21-year-old sons were in the car with me. My 18-year-old was the one who was walking with the two friends. So I have three sons.
Okay. Is the 20 or the 21-year-old able to testify today, or here to testify today, or available to testify today?
They can. I can have my son to call them on the phone, but they're actually not here right now. They're in Florida right now. I'm in actually Georgia.
Okay.
But they were all on the call the first time, so I didn't know if they needed to be this time. So I actually didn't share.
That's fine. What happened after did you get back in the car whenever he told you to get back in the car?
Yeah, absolutely. I jumped back in my car, and then I went to back in the car. When I backed up enough where I wasn't in distance of the man where he can swing the knife, I went to taking pictures of him.
You got back out of your car to do that?
No, I was still in the car, but I was like backed away. So I was still in the car, but I did it through the window.
Did you say anything else to him after you got back into the vehicle?
I told him I was gonna send the pictures to Dawn. I was going to call Dawn, and I was calling the police. Dawn is the lady in the office, the front office manager.
Were you sitting in your car when you told him that, or was that while you were still outside?
No, that was as I was in the car backing away. Like once I was able
window down for him to be able to hear you?
Yeah, once he dropped the knife and stuff, and they was like, "That's the maintenance man." I told him I was going to call Dunn and the police at that moment.
Okay. Did the older gentleman say anything other than "you're tripping, drop the knife"? Did he say anything else that you heard?
No more than I didn't. No, I wasn't really even paying the old man no more attention no more.
Okay. So you don't know if he said anything, or you don't remember? You did not say anything.
So I don't remember him saying anything. The older guy, all I do remember is the guy Q, the maintenance guy. I seen him giving the older guy the beer out of his hand to throw away for him, to try and take for him. Once I told him I was calling the police and done, and he saw me taking the pictures, he gave the old man the beer.
Okay. How do you know that he was the maintenance guy? Who said that he was the maintenance guy? Where did you hear that from?
So one of my 18-year-old son, once he got back on the phone with my son, said it was the maintenance guy. And then after all that happened, two of the maintenance guys that he worked with actually came around to check on me and my kids.
Okay. So you told him through the window you were about to call Dawn and the police. Did you know he was the maintenance man whenever you told him you were about to call Dawn and the police?
Yeah, because that's when my son was on the phone. My 18-year-old was on the phone with my 20-year-old to tell me who he was. Because like I said, I didn't know who he was when I came around there at first.
Okay, so someone called the 20-year-old called the 18-year-old while you were in the car taking pictures?
My 20-year-old actually had already called my 18-year-old because like I told you, when I first got back there, I didn't see anybody. So I told Sai to call Tyson on the phone so to let me know what's going on, because I didn't see anybody or hear any commotion when I first got back there.
So your 20-year-old son was on the phone with your 18-year-old son at the time that this was happening?
Yes.
And you're saying that your 18-year-old told the 20-year-old that you was the maintenance man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My 18-year-old is the one who told the 20-year-old that the guy Q was the maintenance guy.
Was the phone on speaker and you were able to overhear it, or did the 20-year-old just relay to you what the 18-year-old told him?
My 20-year-old related to me
Okay.
that he was the maintenance.
Other than saying, asking him if he was the one arguing with your son and saying you didn't want any problems, and then saying you were going to call Dawn and the police, did you say anything else to the defendant?
Did I say anything to the man?
Yeah.
No, ma'am. Like I said, I don't know.
No, I don't need any extra unless you said something. So you did not say anything other than those statements that I just repeated to you.
When I first walked up, hey sir, are you the one that was arguing with my
Yes, I said that. Excuse me, sir, were you the one arguing with my son? You also said that you told him you didn't want any problems once he raised the knife, and then you said you told him that you were calling the police and Dawn. So was there anything else you told him I don't have written down?
Besides, only other thing I could think of is like telling him that he was going to jail because I was calling the police. Like that was the only thing I can remember. Like I don't.
You don't have to keep telling me other words. So nothing. You don't remember saying anything other than telling him that he was going to jail. That was the only other thing that probably came out of your mouth towards him.
Yes.
Okay. Was there anybody else that witnessed this other than the 20-year-old and 21-year-old who were in the car and the little boy and the old man at the dumpster?
They said it was 2 employees that worked in the office, but I didn't personally see them. That's just the information that I got from the.
So you did not see anybody else on outside in earshot of what was going on other than your 2 sons, the little boy, the old man at the dumpster, and Q?
Correct. I didn't personally see anybody.
Did he walk towards you whenever he said, what did he say whenever he raised the knife? Did he say anything whenever he raised the knife?
Who I think I am, who I'm supposed to be? That's all I can think.
Did he raise the knife? Did he make any other motion other than just raising the knife? Did he walk towards you?
He was coming towards.
As he raised the knife?
Absolutely.
He continued to walk towards you after he raised the knife?
After he grabbed the knife out of his car, he ran back like towards the back of the car to come towards me, and that's when like I went to yell.
He ran. He literally ran at you, or he walked towards you at a fast pace, or he walked towards you?
He didn't run, but he grabbed the knife and went rushing towards the back of the car. He didn't run, but he rushed towards the back of the car with it, and that's when
he walked fast towards the back of the car with the knife. Did he go past the back of the car, or did he just stay by his vehicle?
He came past the back of the car.
And the knife was in the trunk of the vehicle or in the back seat of the vehicle. Where did he retrieve it from?
He opened the driver door, so it had to either be on the side of his seat or the passenger seat, because he opened the driver door to get it out of the car.
It was from the front seat area of the vehicle.
Yes, ma'am. So and all his windows were down, so I'm assuming it was on the side of one of those seats.
Is there anything else that he said to you during that incident that you recall that you haven't already told me?
The only thing I know, he told me he was calling somebody. Oh, you calling the police? He was telling me that he called somebody. And I heard him on the phone. Like, it was someone. That's all I can honestly recall. Him saying like he was finna call somebody out there to come and do something to us or whatever. And in that notion, I'm backing up at the same time. The only thing I remember is the fact that he said he was calling somebody out there to do whatever to us.
Okay. Did he say anything other than that he was calling somebody?
He got on the phone with him or whatever and basically stated that he knew where we lived at.
So he was having a discussion with somebody on the phone, and he was telling them he knew where you lived.
He told me that he know where I live at.
Okay. When did he say that to you?
As he was calling the boys on the phone.
Okay, so he said he was going to, so let me just make sure I have the order that he said things. He started calling, saying, "What bitch?" to you. Then he walks to his car, gets a machete, walks towards you and says, "Who do you think you are? Who are you supposed to be?" And then what is the next thing that he says that you heard?
After he basically asked who I supposed to be, he asked that after he When he's like, what bitch, who you supposed to be? That's when he grabbed the machete or whatever. As I'm backing up is when he went to saying that he was about to call the boys when he seen me taking a picture of him. Oh, I got something for you, bitch. I got something for you. We went to calling the boys on the phone or whatever. That's when I was like, don't worry, I'm calling Don and I'm finna call the police or whatever. So
Did you say that you were calling Don and the police before he said he had something for you and started calling someone?
yes, because the first thing I said to him, I was like, oh, you going to jail today? You going to jail today as I'm taking the pictures. And he was like, oh, I got something for you, B. I got something for you, B, or whatever. And that's when he was like, call him, y'all, dog, pull up. I say, oh, I'm calling Dunn. Don't worry, I'm calling Dunn and the police. Let them pull up. So those was my words, like basically back to him, as I'm calling the police and Dunn on the phone.
So I would need to hear from your 20 and 21-year-olds. So they're going to need to call into the Zoom. So you can give them the Zoom information and have them log in. And I'm going to go ahead and take Ms. Williams' case up while we wait for them to get on. I will hear from your other son a little bit later, but I still need him to stay outside of the room from you.
Okay.
Okay. So Ms. Williams, you can unmute yourself. You're still under oath. And Ms. Williams, what is the nature or what is the nature of your relationship with the person you're seeking the warrant against?
Former friend.
Okay. Have you ever dated, been intimate, or anything of that nature?
No, not at all.
Okay. And you said that he appeared at your home. You thought that he was, who was in the room with you first before we began?
So it's me and it's my spouse. He's actually going to be a witness, so he'll have to leave.
So he needs to leave, and he can take your child with him if he doesn't mind, just so I can make sure I can hear you. And Miss Lewis, or you can put Miss Lewis in the breakout room, Madam Clerk, and there's a door that separates the two of you.
Yes.
Okay. And you said that this is just a friend, a platonic friend. There's always been a platonic friend.
Yes.
Okay. And then I don't want the full story. I just want to know briefly why you think he was upset and showed up at your house the day that this occurred.
Instagram post that wasn't referring to them.
Okay. So what was the post that he found offensive? What did the post say that he found offensive?
The post, it wasn't him that found it offensive. He took it from his girlfriend and he made it into.
Well, just tell me what the post said.
I don't have the actual post because, I wasn't expecting them to. Anyways, the post said along the lines of, do not share your business plans with others because they will take it and make it seem like it's theirs. If people can put on a facade that they're living a different lifestyle on social media, what makes you think that they won't take your hard work business plan and turn it into theirs? Like, that's just the general post.
Okay. And whenever he came to your home, you opened the door?
The first time we did not open the door.
Okay, so when you say the first time, did he come twice on the same day or on different days?
Different days.
Okay, so the time that this incident actually occurred, what time was it?
What time is this? So we text, it's 5:30 a.m. It was around 6 o'clock that evening of April 25th.
April 25th? That's April 25th of this year?
24th, actually, yes, of this year. April 24th around 6, I would say between 6 and 7 p.m.
Okay, and when did you made that post that you're referring to?
I'm not even sure when the post was made. They didn't come to me.
Was it sometime within a week or a couple of days of that incident?
It had to be a month or two before.
Okay. Hold on. Okay, so on April 24th, around 6 to 7 p.m., he came to your home. Had you had any communication with him earlier that day?
Yes.
What was the let me ask this question first. What form was that communication? Was it telephone, text message, social media?
Social media and text.
What did he say? Social media and what else?
And text message.
Okay, what did he say via text to you?
Text, he didn't send the text to me, he sent it to my spouse.
What did he text to your spouse that you're aware of?
He said, get some backbone, whole ass nigga, because if your baby mama keep playing, on God, I'm pushing up to your house, you know me, nigga.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Read it to me one more time.
It says, get some backbone, whole ass nigga, because if your baby mama keep playing, on God, I'm pushing up, you know me, nigga.
Okay, did he receive any other text? Are you receiving any other text?
Yes, via Instagram. That's where social media is, where I received the first message.
So that day, did you receive anything else from him? What else did he say, either social media or text message that day?
He responded to a Instagram post before he texted my spouse that said I gave respect before I disrespected them. And he asked me what did he slid up and said, what did this mean? I said exactly what it says, what else it's supposed to mean. And then he went on to say that he's not going to play social media games about his girlfriend. Oh my God. I just told him like nobody's playing social media games. Like you guys are my friends. Yada yada. He kept texting back, and then he stopped texting. After I said the last few words, he didn't say anything back. So that's when he began to text my spouse's phone and said what he said.
Okay. How long after your husband received the text talking about him pulling up did he actually show up at the house?
So this was 7 a.m. He showed up that evening. Yeah, it was that
What
evening.
time did he send the text saying he was going to pull up?
He sent the text around 6. It says 6:01 a.m. And actually, I have other messages. It has to be later than that because after he sent another message that evening, he came. His girlfriend, that's what it was. It was his girlfriend texting me. And that's when she told me to pop outside. And that's when he started banging on the door. We heard him.
So at the same time that you heard banging on your door, the girlfriend sent you a text saying, pop outside?
Yeah, she sent me a text message right before that, the first time telling me she said, pop outside, Miss Mouth. And then we heard him screaming and yelling coming up from our back door. And then whenever he got to our door, then that's when he started banging. He actually tried to get in at first instead of banging first. And then he proceeded to bang against the door in the window. And then she texted again and said for me to come outside.
And you opened the door after hearing him banging?
Nope, ma'am. Did not answer it.
What time was this that he was banging? This was at 6 o'clock or so?
Yeah, between the hours of 6 and 7.
Okay, so how long was he banging on the door and the window?
He stayed there for a good 15 minutes. My mom was trying to calm him down.
How was your mother trying to calm him down?
Just telling him to just go home.
Was she yelling through the wall or something at him? How was she communicating with him?
Through the door, from the back door, she was yelling through the window, just telling him to calm down and just to go home. That it's not that serious. And she introduced herself.
So when did he come back?
So he came back June 15th.
So on the April 24th, you did not have any interaction with him, physical? Okay, so the physical interaction happened on what date?
On June 15th, 2023.
Okay, and was there anything said previous to June 15th that occurred?
Yes, his girlfriend, once again, but this time she inboxed my boyfriend. And I responded and told her that I'm not going to allow him to respond to her. And she told me that I throw rocks to hide my hand. And she told me that I need to pop outside and stand on it, without police or families. Let's dead it. And then she texted again. And she said, all this talk, just pop out here shortly. And that shortly was within, honestly, it wasn't even really that quick with shortly because we had someone working on our apartment. And when he
I don't need to know all of that. So she sent you a text saying to pop outside. What time was that?
I don't have the exact time on here screenshot. It doesn't have the time on Instagram from the whole.
How long before they showed up at your home that she sent the text asking you to pop outside?
Probably about an hour. Yeah, I'll say an hour. Because I screenshotted this at 8:02. I'm not sure if it's 8:02 a.m. or 8:02 p.m., but it was within like an hour.
Okay, so within an hour, what happened this time within an hour?
Nothing. I let the guy who was working on our apartment out. The door wasn't locked. Went back to go lock the door. As soon as I opened the door, he was standing right there.
Okay. Why did you open the door if you were going to lock it?
Because I already heard him and he was already approaching the door. So had he opened
So when you say you heard him, what did you hear? You heard him saying something or heard footsteps?
Yelling. He just kept yelling like, yeah. He just kept yelling, yeah. And it was right there at the door. So instead
Why did you open the door if you knew that he was on the other side?
It wasn't all the way shut. I couldn't lock it. So he was already going to jab at the door. So in order to protect my child from being killed.
So I guess I'm still trying to figure out why you needed to open the door again.
So and had I not opened the door and I couldn't lock it because the door was not all the way shut, the guy who was working on the apartment wasn't even in the elevator yet. So he was going to jab at that door. I just took from my experience last time and compared it to this time that he would have jabbed at that door and he would have knocked my child out. So I met him at the door. I couldn't lock it. It wasn't all the way shut. So it was no it was no point in trying me and being less stronger than him for me to push the door and try to lock it because it was not going to lock. That door is not easy to lock.
Okay, so you heard him coming, and because the door was slightly ajar, you decided to go ahead and open it
Yes.
rather than try to lock it. And then what happened whenever you opened the door?
As soon as I opened that door, he spit in my face twice, and then he proceeded to hit me on the left side of my face with his hand. And then my spouse came, and as soon as he saw my spouse's face, he pulled the gun on me, my child, and my spouse. My child was present the entire time that he did all of that.
So he spit on you, and then what did he do again after spitting?
He proceeded to hit me across the left side of my face with his hand. And whenever my spouse was able to make it to the door,
You said he hit you with his hand. He punched you, slapped you, mushed you in the face. How did he hit you?
no, he slapped me across my face.
He slapped you?
Yes.
Did he slap you once or more?
He slapped me once, and my spouse ended up arriving, and that's when he pulled the gun out.
Okay. And then what did the gun look like?
It's a black Glock. I've been around the gun. It's a black Glock, and it's registered to his girlfriend.
Okay, so he pulled out a black gun. How big was the gun approximately?
A 9mm.
Okay, well, how big was it? You can just show me with your hand.
Honestly, it's bigger than my hand, so it's a handgun. So
A lot bigger than your hand. Not a lot bigger than your hand. About how large was it?
I'm not sure. Whatever a 9mm Glock looks like, they're usually slightly bigger than your hand, so not that.
So what you saw in his hand, what did it look like? It looked like it was slightly bigger than his hand and it was black.
Yes.
How were you able to tell that it was a 9mm versus a 40 caliber? You're pretty certain of the caliber range. How do you know it was a 9mm?
Because this is the only gun that he always brought around us as being friends. It's the only gun that he owns, and that's the only gun that he.
Have you seen the gun before the day he pulled it on you? When did you see the gun previously?
A week before that, a month before that, we actually shot that same gun at the gun range. I've been very familiar with that gun.
He said he pulled out the gun. What did he do with the gun? Where was he holding the gun? How was he handling the gun once he pulled it out?
He pulled it out, and as soon as he pulled it out, my spouse grabbed us inside. He cocked the gun. You can hear him cock it, and he still proceeded to try to get inside our home. But my boyfriend was stronger, so he was able to push him out and lock the door afterwards.
Your child, your boyfriend, and yourself were the only witnesses. Where was the maintenance person? Had he gotten on the elevator at this point, or was he able to witness some of this?
He had gotten on the elevator at this point. The only witness that I had that's not available today was the neighbor that was across the hall. She heard everything, and she was able to see through her peephole, but she also has a Ring camera, but it wasn't working that day that it happened, or the time.
So did she actually see anything, or she just heard the commotion?
She heard the commotion and peeked out of her. She said she peeked out of her thing, and she saw where he was standing in front of us, and she saw the gun, and then that's when she didn't look into her peephole anymore. She just walked away from the door, I guess, just in case anything happened.
Did she call the police or anything?
No, she did not. I did.
Okay, let's see. Madam Clerk, are we able to let the witness in? Ms. Lewis, I'm just going to ask a few brief questions of you. Do you recall anything out of the ordinary occurring at your apartment complex or at your neighbor's home approximately a month ago?
For my daughter?
June.
My daughter.
That's your daughter.
Yeah,
That's my daughter.
I thought this was your neighbor. Your neighbor, she's not on.
No, she couldn't attend. She only attended last time, but she couldn't attend.
Oh, okay, so it was your neighbor I wanted to speak to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my mom was present the first time that he came in Bangor.
Yeah, I don't need to hear about that time. What about, do you think you can call your neighbor and see if she's able to jump on for about 10 minutes? It shouldn't take longer than that.
No, I tried contacting her for a couple of days now, and also she wasn't. I even told her that he wasn't on here because she didn't want to show her face if he was on here because he still.
Got you. Okay. So no, I don't need to hear from your mom. Okay, so let me. You didn't send a subpoena or anything to her?
To the neighbor?
Witness, yes.
No, I didn't send a subpoena to her. They never told me anything about a subpoena. I did send her the date of the court and everything.
Okay. Did she appear last time you said?
Yeah, she did. She appeared last time, and she stayed on till 10:30ish. Whenever she figured that they wasn't going to hear my case, she logged off.
Okay. Do you have contact information for her, like telephone number?
Yes, I have a contact number.
Send that to Magistrate Court B, and I'm going to have my clerk's office call her and let her know that the court is requesting her presence for a hearing. So Ms. Lewis, you can actually go. I don't need you on the Zoom, but thank you for appearing. I just need to hear from the neighbor. So let's see, Ms. Hanks, is Tyson Edwards your son?
Can I stay on and see what's going on with my daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll have to go to the Zoom, watch it on YouTube. So I don't
a
let
YouTube?
witnesses. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know, because last time we said, okay.
Yes, Madam Clerk, if you could just send her that information too, so she'll know. And then Ms. Hanks, you said Tyson Edwards is your son?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a 20 or 21-year-old?
I'm the 20 or 21-year-old I couldn't get in contact with right now, so I don't know if they're at work or like I said, I didn't know that they needed to be on this time because they was last time, all the witnesses.
Okay. Well, this is still a court date, so I have to have the witnesses that I need to hear from that have evidence about the case, and they were the two that were actually there. So I would definitely need to hear from one or both of them. So what we can do is, if you want to wait a little bit and see if you think that they're going to be able to call, we can wait a few minutes to see if you think you're going to be able to get them in, or else I would need to reset to wait to hear from your two sons, because those are the two witnesses I do need to hear from, the 21 and the 20-year-old.
Okay.
And Ms. Williams, were you able to send that telephone number yet? Okay, perfect. So give us just a few minutes. We're going to do a brief recess. Ms. Hanks, do you want me to reset your case to my next calendar so that I have a chance to hear from your two sons, or do you want to wait about 30 minutes or so and see if they can come and appear?
I'm actually trying to.
Okay, so we'll hold on. We'll wait, and because we have to wait anyway for the court to call the other person. So we're going to call the neighbor, Ms. Williams, and see if she's available. Yes, Ms. Williams.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I sent over a file. It has everything in there. Like
So no. You she's not going to be able to go through all of that. So if you can just send over the telephone number for the witness to Magistrate Court B in the chat, send the telephone number to Magistrate Court B for the witness so we can call the witness.
Well, no, I sent the number. I'm saying I sent the evidence to the court in a PowerPoint. That's not a lot of stuff on there. I just pointed out.
Okay. Does she give you a statement in that PowerPoint, or does she write a statement herself?
No, it's not from my
Okay,
neighbor.
so again, I need to hear from her. Okay, so Madam Clerk, were you able to call her already?
No, Judge, but I got the number, but who am I asking for?
Yeah,
There's
I don't
no name.
exactly know her name. Yeah, that was my first time speaking to her when that
Okay, so
accident.
you do not know her name. Did the police interview her and talk to her?
No, the police didn't do anything that they were supposed to.
So, Madam Clerk, if you could just let them know who you are, let them know that you're calling from the DeKalb County Magistrate Court for a case that is in court today involving a neighbor of hers by the neighbor's name, and then just do that and leave a message to the same and let them know that we're waiting. The judge is waiting for her to appear, and leave the Zoom link information. So we're just going to be in a brief recess until we can get in touch with her, or Mrs. Hanks, if you're able to get your sons in, as soon as we see them pop up on the screen, we'll come back.
Okay, perfect. I'm working on getting them now.
Okay.
Trying to get one of.
As soon as one of them gets on, we'll continue.
Yes, Your Honor. That looks like my 21-year-old son, Urban.
Okay, so, perfect. Mr. Richardson, I don't know if he has audio yet. If you have audio, Mr. Richardson, I don't think he's attached to audio. Okay, Mr. Richardson, what is your relationship to Mrs. Hanks?
Mother.
Okay, and were you with her? What was the date of the incident, Ms. Hanks?
The incident was June 25th.
June 25th. Mr. Richardson, were you with your mother on June 25th?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall what you saw and what you heard happen involving your mother on June 25th?
Could you say that again?
Did you see anything? Do you recall anything unusual happening with your mother and another person on June 25th?
Yes, the maintenance guy.
Okay. What did you see the maintenance guy do, and what did you hear the maintenance guy say on that date to your mother?
He was just cursing a lot, and then he pulled out a knife out his car, walked up to his car and pulled out a knife.
Okay. And do you hear anything that your mother said to him?
No.
Okay. But you just remember hearing him cursing a lot and pulling out a knife, and then
She asked him what happened with my little brother.
okay, you heard her asking that?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened after she asked him that?
He pulled out a knife.
Okay. Did he say anything whenever he pulled out the knife?
I don't recall him saying something.
Okay.
I know
What did he do whenever he pulled out the knife? Did he just pull out the knife and
pulled out the
stand
knife and
still?
walked towards the car, start pointing it and walking towards the car.
Okay. And how old were you, Mr. Richardson, when this happened?
21.
Okay. And is there anything else that you saw or heard that you need to relay between your mother and this gentleman?
No.
Okay. Did you see anybody else outside whenever this happened?
Yes, it was a little boy and an old man
Where were they at?
at the garbage already. They were there already.
Did you hear them say anything when all this was going on?
They was trying to calm the other guy down.
Did you hear what they were saying to him to try to calm him down?
The old guy was telling the other guy, I don't know his name, telling him to just go in the house and leave it alone.
Okay. Do you remember, if you're a little bit blurred for me, I don't know, sometimes we have like the little blur feature or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, now I can see you a little bit better. Can you show me kind of what motion he made with the knife or how he was holding the knife?
He got out his car, he had it to his side, and then he started walking up with it. Then he pointed it with his hand like that.
Okay, so he was holding it out like that. Okay. And you said he was cursing.
Yes.
Do you remember what type of curse words he was saying?
He was just saying like, bitch, don't, something like just cursing. He had a beer bottle in his hand. He seemed drunk. Just,
Okay.
I don't know, just saying a whole bunch of cursing. I don't know specifically, or remember specifically what he said.
Okay. You said he seemed drunk.
Yeah, well, he had a beer bottle in his hand.
Okay, that's all I need from you. So you can actually go ahead and leave the hearing for today. Thank you for appearing. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. And then if we can let your other son and the other person in, Madam Clerk, if we can let him in, place your hand down. Thank you. Do you recall anything happening out of the ordinary with your mother on June? I apologize, Madam Ms. Hanks. When's that date again?
It was June 25th.
June 25th. So, Mr. Edwards, do you recall anything out of the ordinary happening with your mother on June 25th?
No, not really. Like, now I don't be looking at dates and I'm like,
Do you remember her having any type of altercation with anyone in June? Or a month and some change ago? Do you remember any type of altercation she may have been involved in? And I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
maybe like in like an apartment complex.
What do you recall about what happened at an apartment complex?
I was coming back from the store and my little brother called me and he was like the maintenance man was going off on him or something like that, like snapping on him. And so me and my older brother, we was going to walk back there to see what was going on. And my mom had just so happened to pull up and I told her what happened. She picked us up, so we were going back there and we seen a little boy and stuff like that. And the little boy was like that the maintenance man was cursing him out and stuff like that. And my little brother was on the way back to where we were. And the maintenance man pulled back up and stuff like that. And my mom tried to ask him what happened and stuff like that. And he went to cursing her out and stuff like that. And so I told him like, don't talk to my mom like that. And he pulled out a machete. And yeah, so we left and we were my mom called the police. She was calling the police. She called them probably about 8 times, really. And they really didn't come. Like they took them a long time to come in.
So let me go back a little bit. You said that you saw him grab a machete. Do you know where he grabbed the machete from?
Oh yeah, he grabbed it from the passenger floor of his car.
Okay, and did your mom say anything to him before he grabbed the machete?
Yeah, she asked him what was going on.
Okay, did she curse at him or say anything that might have triggered him that you heard?
Nah, he was drunk. He had a beer in his hand. He was already drinking and like smoking weed and stuff like that. So he really already out of his mind.
Okay. And then what did he do once he got the knife off the floorboard? What did he do with the knife?
He pulled it out and like he tried to walk towards us, but my mom told us like get in the car and stuff like that. And then she pulled off and called the police.
Okay. Okay. So that's all I needed from you. You can go ahead and log back out of the Zoom. Thank you for appearing.
Mm.
Okay. So Mrs. Hanks, I think the police were able to get all the information. Give me just 1 second to make sure the police report has all the information that I need. And so they don't have that information either for him. Do you recall approximately how tall you thought this person was?
The guy, he had to be at least about 6 feet, maybe 6'2".
Okay. And then how much do you think you look like you weighed?
He's slim, so I gotta say at least about with his height and weight, maybe 180 at the max.
Okay. And then he's a black male or a white male?
Yes, he's a black male.
Does he have any hair? Were you able to see? Did he have a hat on?
Yes, ma'am, he had on a hat. But I think he got like either low haircut. Like his haircut gonna be low. I don't think he got hair.
Okay. And what color was his eyes? Are they brown, dark brown?
His eyes?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get close enough to see exactly what color they were, but I know they not like hazel green. They like regular, like either dark.
What is his skin complexion? Is he about your skin tone, lighter, darker?
Yeah, he's a little lighter. He's a little lighter than me.
Okay.
He's lighter.
Okay. So Mr. Edwards, let me just ask, make sure I get another opinion. Mr. Tyson Edwards, unmute yourself for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you recall about how tall the guy was?
Yes, I'm 6'1". He's like 6'2", 6'3", probably
He's a
at
little
the
bit
most. He's not
taller
that
than
taller
you,
than me though.
but he is taller than you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then how much did he seem like he weighed about the same as you or less than you?
No, he weighs more than me. I'm only 115 pounds. He weighs way more than me.
Okay. So you thought how much do you think he probably weighs based on what he
Like
looked
my
like?
mom said, like about 180 at the max. He's not that big. He's pretty slim.
Were you able to see his eye color?
He has brown eyes, like dark brown
Dark brown
eyes.
eyes. Okay. Do
Yeah.
you know if he has any hair?
He's bald. He has a bald head.
Bald. Okay. That's all I need then. So Madam Clerk, can you do 6'2", 180, black male, bald head with brown eyes? So we'll go ahead and get that in. So what you'll need to do, Ms. Hanks, is we will go ahead and issue that warrant. They're going to send you information about how to sign. You're going to need to come down to the courthouse to sign for the warrant. And then it should be by tomorrow that they would probably be ready for you, so you can come down. Please come sooner rather than later, because I have to wait to sign it after you sign it. So come down to the magistrate courthouse. They're open, I think, until midnight with people there, but usually your best bet is 8 till 5-ish because there'll be multiple people there. Come down, sign the warrant, and then we can issue the warrant for the rest. But I do need you to come down to the courthouse, 285 Memorial, 3630 Camp Circle. You need to come down there so you can sign the arrest warrant since you're the one that's requesting it. We have to just have your signature in the system. So we're going to email you just instructions for what to do, but you're free to go. And Mr. Tyson Edwards, thank you for appearing. You're also free to go. And Ms. Hanks, just make sure you come down to sign that warrant so we can issue the warrant.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Have a good day.
You
And Ms.
too.
Williams, we're going to continue to try to get your neighbor on the phone. So give us just a few more minutes. I'm going to continue to try to get her on the phone.
Yes. Yeah, I tried to call again too. I tried calling her 50
There it is.
times. And so,
What I'm going to do is you can go ahead and have your husband come in really quickly.
okay, give me just 1 second. Let me go get him.
Mr. Gresham?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Gresham, if you can just tell me what you physically saw happen on the date that this incident occurred. What did you physically see happen on the day that this incident occurred?
I saw London standing at the door. I saw him spit through the door. I saw him slap London. I saw him pull the gun out, and I actually was in the hallway when he pulled out the gun the second time. I guess I saw the entire incident, and I also saw his hand reach back in the door when he tried to push the door open. At the end of everything.
And you said you saw him, you saw a gun?
Yes, I saw him pull out a gun to London first, and then when I came around, or when I came outside to get London, he pulled the gun on me too.
Do you remember what the gun looked like?
It was a pistol.
Was it silver or black or green? What color do you recall?
It was black or dark blue. No, I think, but 9 times out of 10 it was black.
Do you remember how big it was?
Um, it was small enough to fit in his jean pocket, so I would say maybe this smaller than someone's hand or the size of a small hand.
Did he send you any messages threatening violence at any point in time?
Yes, they should have been sent in with London's information.
Do you remember what he said and whatever threatening messages he sent to you?
I do remember seeing "Don't worry about it, I'm about to pull up" once. I can't really recollect anything because we haven't really talked about that yet.
Okay.
And he said something, I guess yesterday. I'm trying to remember what he said.
Let me ask this. Did you ever talk to the neighbor across the hall about what she heard or saw, or did you have a chance to do that?
So I never talked to her personally, but in a way, we had a conversation. If I was standing there when London talked to her.
Okay, you were standing there whenever your wife was. What did you hear her say to London?
She said she was standing at the door and she saw it, and she was scared to come outside, but she doesn't know if her ring was recording. This was actually like a small conversation we had during or I guess a couple hours after the incident happened. She just stepped outside and told me, or told London that she was sorry about something. I'm sorry, I can't recollect 100% what she said. I just was kind of standing there.
Okay. Okay, you have, what did you say that you think that his height was, Ms. Williams?
No, I have his exact description from his police records.
You said you have the exact height, weight, and hair color? Okay, so I need you to put that in the chat for me. And Madam Clerk, we still haven't heard anything back from her.
No, Judge.
Okay, let's try one last time to call her, and we'll just do it one last time. Just let me know if there's any answer.
Judge, nothing still.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Ms. Williams, I will go ahead, and Madam Clerk, I had her put all the identifying information in the chat feature for him, just so we can have all the right stuff for him. So Ms. Williams, they're going to email you with some information. You will need to come down to the courthouse to sign off on the warrant. So you will get a message from the court, an email letting you know instructions that you can come down to Magistrate Court at I-285 in Memorial, 3630 Camp Circle, and you can sign that application. I cannot do anything until you sign, so please go ahead and try to do that sooner rather than later so that I can make sure that I can sign it. Tomorrow will be great. And best hours are usually between 8 and 5 to come down, 8:30 and 5. But there should be somebody there most nights until late. But between 8:30 and 5:30, and 8:30 and 5 is probably the best time because there's so many people down there at that time. But they'll send you instructions for signing, and then we'll go from there. So thank you for appearing. But you can be excused this evening, and just make sure you come down to sign the warrant.
Okay, do you can I ask any questions regarding the warrant and how it
They
works?
will send you some lengthy information about all of that, and then you'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. Okay.